Hi, my name is James Payne and this is my personal reflective diary video interview. So question 1. Are you pleased with the films you've made this year? Well, so far this year I've made my art film, montage film, personal investigation and the exam film, and the majority of these I've been quite pleased with, to be honest. The exam film was definitely the best film, so I was able to put the most effort into that, seeing as I had a whole 12 hours to edit that for the exam. So there's a lot of preparation for that, and I actually made a bit of a pre-edit in my own time at home, so I knew exactly where the footage was going in the exam, and yeah, very pleased with that. I think that my personal investigation film with the trailbuilding sort of documentary style film could have gone slightly better, but as a whole it was alright, but I was more let down by the quality of the film than anything else. But all in all, it wasn't too bad. Question 2. Looking back over the 2 years you've been here on the course, how much have you developed? Have your films changed? Have you learned much? I mean, over the 2 years I didn't actually expect to learn as much as I did. It wasn't necessarily through being taught the techniques and that as much, but it's more about me pushing myself as well with my filmmaking. So over the past few months I went out and bought myself a new camera as well, so I could improve on the quality of my filmmaking as well. And I really started to think about using the tripods more, making sure all the shots were spot on, and not settling for second best really. I mean, my filmmaking's developed quite a lot when I look at the films I made in my own time before college, and then the films I've made, you know, during the second year, and especially the exam film for the end. I mean, it's like a black and white difference really between the filmmaking I've done and just what the course has taught me really. So it's really been worthwhile doing the course. I've learnt a lot about it and progressed a lot as a filmmaker. Question 3. What has been the hardest thing to learn? I think that over the course, probably one of the hardest things to learn has been more about people like the directors and that, and who sort of makes the films, and sort of learning about some different types of cameras and stuff used, because it's not been that useful for my actual filmmaking. It's more of the background knowledge, so it's more of the personal interest in there, which is why it's made it more difficult to learn, because I'm not actually that interested in some of those things. I'm more interested in actually getting on and making the films. Question 4. Can you sum up anything that links your work this year? The films, the essay, anything. It could be ideas or themes or types of story or genre. I mean, for me it's been the bike filming really, the sport filming. That's been the theme throughout the work for this year mainly. It's what I enjoy to film, so it's what I'm best at as well, so I try to incorporate the bike riding and that somewhere along the line in my films. But I've also tried to diversify it a bit, so rather than just making like a riding edit, for example, in my personal investigation I made a documentary about the trail building and more about the behind the scenes action of what actually goes on with the riding as well. You know, and didn't really do so much riding in that. And in the exam film I was quite open to what I wanted to do, because I picked the title of Journey, so I twisted that slightly and used the journey through the day. So I was basically open to do what I wanted to do. So I wanted to incorporate bikes with that. So what I did was I did a day in the lifestyle video, and I used my friend Nathan for that, and I filmed the first half of the film with him at home getting ready, which was a nice change to my normal filmmaking. And then the second half was more into a rider sort of edit, sort of to combine the two into quite a nice little film really. So I was very pleased with that at the end of the day. Question 5. Take us through the making of the main second year film. What were the ups and downs of it, and how did your ideas change as you went through it? Well, the main second year film for me was the exam film. I definitely put the most effort into that film, because that was the film that really counted, because I was I was being marked under time conditions as well, and being able to do the whole process of coming up, of picking the exam question and going out, doing the filming, developing my idea through different stages, and then actually editing it together in the 12-hour exam. I mean, my ideas did change a fair bit. I was going to do like more of a comedy day in the lifestyle video of one of my friends, JJ. He also rides bikes as well, but I was going to make it quite funny and have him like eating cake or something for breakfast, and make it quite a laugh really, you know, and get a little bit of riding in there somewhere. But as sort of times went on and my ideas sort of changed through people not being available and this and that really, and ended up just doing more of a serious sort of day in the lifestyle video with my friend Nathan really, which worked out for the best in the end. I'm very happy with the result of it, and I put an awful lot of effort into making sure that it went well really. Question 6. If you could have the second year all over again, what would you do differently? I mean, if I was to do it again, I'd possibly crack on with the work a little bit earlier rather than sort of leaving it towards the end. I mean, I've had a lot of free time in the course. I mean, I haven't been pressured too much to get the work done on time as such, so it's quite easy to get lazy on this course. So ideally I'd decide to sort of set myself some of my own deadlines and crack on with the work a little bit earlier. But it hasn't been that essential to do it, because even though the deadline's coming up now, I'm still not that pressured to make sure it's in on time, because I have kept up with it all right throughout the year, and certainly got the more important bits of work done. So it's just tidying up the little bits of coursework and that really. Question 7. Can you choose one scene from any of your films this year and say what you liked about it? Was there something really difficult that you managed to do? I think I'll talk about my art film in this one, in conjunction with SpaceX Art Gallery. We had to create an art film, and it's not really anything like what I like to film, what I do film. I've always assumed art films are quite easy to make, because they're not really about any kind of plot really, they're just about like a general theme and sort of more random images really that sort of fit together nicely. So I quite liked it because I thought it'd be quite easy, to be honest. So I thought I'd do something different and and try and make people feel a bit sort of intimidated by my film. So I went out and filmed some more normal everyday shots, but but I used some shots of some water and stuff on the weirs on the River Exe as well, and I changed all that to black and white, shrunk the film down so it was quite narrow, and I put some really strange sound effects on it that I found off Soundtrack Pro on the Macs, and I made sure the volume was turned up quite loud. And when we played that through for the SpaceX, I was quite amazed how much impact it made actually. There's quite a stunned silence at the end, and it really did make you feel a bit sort of on edge and almost a bit worried really. It was quite almost like a disturbing film really, which I was quite pleased with, because it didn't really take me that long to film, you know. I just went out for a couple of hours, got the shots together and edited it all up. I mean, the bit that took the most time was putting all the sounds in and getting them in the right places at the end of the day. But that went quite well, and I did sort of push myself slightly with that, just to really prove that, you know, I can film other things rather than just the bike films. I was quite keen to just to do something different and just show that I can do it, but I do choose to film the bike films because that's just what I'm best at the end of the day. Question 8. Apart from films, what inspires you the most? Music, places, anything? I mean, I race downhill mountain bikes. I'm now a sponsored rider, and riding sort of inspires me for most of life really. Because with riding, there's no sort of limit to how far you can progress really. It's you can just keep going. You can just, you know, you can never really be the best, and you're always pushing your own abilities with things like jumps and that. And it does inspire you to be better and to be a better rider, because there'll always be someone that will come along, they'll be better than you, and they'll do something that you can't do, and you think, oh blimey, I really need to make sure I can do that sort of thing. And yeah, it really does inspire me to improve on my riding, and it's the same with my filmmaking. You know, I'll watch these incredible bike films and films on telly, and I think, blimey, you know, some of these shots are utterly stunning. It's sort of, well, what, you know, why can't I do that? Why can't I try to improve my filming and become like that? You know, there's no reason why I can't become the best at what I'm at. So I do like to push myself, and I find that my riding really inspires everything I do. Because I mean, there's a good example that sort of when I first started out riding, I went down to Tavistock to ride a specific place called Gorton down there, and there's one of these jumps down there which is well, it's massive. You know, you could park a small lorry underneath it and jump over it, and I always said that I'd never ever be able to do that. And last August I actually went down there and did the jump and proved myself wrong that I could do it. And it's exactly the same thing with my filmmaking and that, you know, things that I don't think I can do, I will push myself to do it, you know. So last year I prototyped a cable cam and things like that, and it went okay, you know, but in the future I'll be able to improve on that and make my filmmaking even better, really. Question 9, have these things inspired you? Well, it's all about my personal experiences really with my riding, just exactly the same as I spoke about in the last question, really. It's all about me just sort of wanting to be the best, really. I'm quite a perfectionist when it comes to filmmaking, and when I'm in the edit suite I'll spend hours and hours just trying to pick the right song, let alone editing the film, you know. And if a shot's not right, I really will fiddle around with it for ages until it is right, and it just sort of inspires me to be the best, really. Question 10, what films inspired you the most this year? I'd say that films such as like showreel films on for biking and that, which I've watched on biking websites and that, which are, you know, big media companies from all around the world. They like to showreel their stuff throughout the whole year, and they just put all their best shots together, and those are just like some of the most incredible films you'll ever watch, because every shot is just perfection, and it really makes you think that you really need to up your game a bit, and you really want to get some of these good shots. And it's also about the feedback you get as well, you know. It's it does inspire you to be really good, because when people start saying, oh, it's a really great film and stuff like that, you really want to do better and make something good out of it, you know. I mean, most of the big time Hollywood films and stuff which I've watched this year, I mean, they all inspire me in different ways, really. So I just got to keep watching those and keep getting ideas for my filming in the future. Question 11, what was the worst thing you saw on TV this year? I mean, I don't really know, because nothing stands out particularly to me that I've watched that is awful. I mean, there's not really much chance I'm going to remember something that's awful, because there's no point in remembering it. So I haven't really noticed anything particularly film-wise or TV-wise that comes to head right now that I've watched and I thought that's just sort of terrible. Question 12, what people do you find inspiring? They could be artists, photographers, filmmakers, whatever. One of my favourite sort of filmmakers at the moment is a chap called Clay Porter, and he is sort of a pioneer in the bike film industry. He's made several sort of large sort of films that really should be shown a lot more than they are. And then you buy them on DVD and Blu-ray as well. You know, they're quite big time things, really. He goes to a lot of effort to make it, and they really are quite inspirational. I mean, the way he films them, he likes to tell a story with those films, and I do like that sort of thing. I mean, there's other directors. I mean, I really like the work of Tim Burton. He just does some really unique stuff that I like, and I mean, that's quite inspiring as well. And also, you know, these are top level riders, because as a rider I find that inspiring to be like them and to try and be good, because they all started out somewhere like where I am at the moment, so that inspires me as well. Question 13, can you think of a time this year when you tried to stretch yourself in your work? Was there something that you didn't think you could do which you had a go at? Yet again, it could be the art film, really. Never thought I'd make one because never been that interested in it, so I did sort of quite go for that and really tried to make something good out of that, and I think it went quite well in the end, because that's ended up on the A2 Film and Video homepage on the portal. So clearly that has gone quite well. I mean, I also pushed myself quite hard in the exam film just to make sure that it was the absolute best I could produce to get the best grade, because I mean, ideally I'd love to get an A star out of this course. I mean, there's no reason why I can't. I feel that my filmmaking's up to scratch, just making sure my coursework is up there with it as well. So I really pushed myself to make sure that the first part of the film, the stuff at home, went really well and was quite light and sort of really fitted the film, and I made sure the song choice was perfect as well. And the second half of the film, I spent ages getting the perfect song for that, and really went to town on that to make sure every shot was perfectly in time with the music and just flowed as a film. So you know, I really pushed myself on that over this year. Question 14. How do you get your ideas for work? When do they come to you? I mean, most of my ideas come when I'm relaxed, I suppose, and probably when I'm out enjoying myself, and more than likely out when I'm riding. You know, it gives me time to forget about everything that I'm under pressure with. You do go to your own sort of world, and really your mind sort of explores things, and although you're incredibly focused on what you're doing, because you're doing quite a dangerous sport, and you'll be incredibly focused what you are, you do get lots of time to think about things and sort of contemplate ideas, and just sort of come up with with ideas and stuff over what you can film and things like that. I mean, other ideas come to me when I watch films. I'll see something and go, blimey, you know, that is really nice, I can do something similar to that. I can adapt it and make it my own. Question 15. What have you found the most difficult or simply disliked the most in this course, and why? Simple answer to that is going to be the coursework of this course. I don't mind the coursework so much to do with the actual film that I'm making, for, you know, such as the personal investigation and the exam film, but there's several other parts of coursework within this film, such as things like this video interview and things about MPEG formats and different types of cameras. And I mean, there's a piece of coursework about artists' theory and stuff. I mean, that is literally nothing to do with filmmaking as far as I'm concerned, so I just see it more of a waste of time really than being useful. It's just more something to bulk up the course to be marked